This is Eric from Pack Hacker, and today we're taking a look at the ALPAKA Elements Tech Case Max, which I've been testing for the past 2 weeks. Let's dive in. So there are two materials that you can go with depending on the colorway you get. There is Axoflux 600D, which is recycled polyester, which you see here, and there's also X-Pack's VX21. So the X-Pack is probably going to be a little bit lighter. We don't have that one on hand, and it's probably going to offer a little bit more water resistance, but I do think this is probably going to last you longer durability-wise in the long term, but it depends how you use gear and what you're looking for. But overall, pretty happy with the material. Just pick up dust and pet hair fairly well. I did clean this one off. I think it was yesterday or the day before, so it's not super hairy right now, but does a good job cleaning up. The back panel here is 840D ballistic nylon, so you have a little bit of extra durability here. So if you're setting it on its side like this, or if you're using it in sling mode, a little bit of padding there. There isn't padding on the back panel, but we'll get there when we chat about wearing this thing. There is YKK zippers throughout the pack. We have AquaGuard seal there to protect your tech. The main compartment has a little locking mechanism there, so you could put a, a travel lock or something through there. And that's not going to be a, complete theft stopper, but it is going to be a theft deterrent. If someone is trying to get in someone's bag and they see yours is locked, they'll probably move on to the next person and not go for you. We have a handle here on the top. It kind of stays out of your way while you're not using it. Not super comfortable to carry around for a long time because there's no padding or anything like that, but it's, has sling capabilities, so you're probably not going to be carrying it like this all the time, but it's nice if you are using this just as a tech case, you can do that. On the back panel here, we have 4 different places you can attach the sling strap, which we're going to get into in a moment. Also have a D-ring here on the bottom, so there is some different ways you can attach this inside your back, different ways you can wear this and just kind of make it more modular if you're looking to do that. Back on the front here, we have a kind of a little hidden logo tab there, the ALPAKA logo there. I like that it's, kind of hidden, but it's also nice to have it there. If you like brands that you're using, you might as well support them and so people can see what you're wearing. So you've got the ALPAKA logo there, really out of the way and can't really tell, but again, no real complaints on how this thing looks. It is pretty big. As you can see, it's pretty large. I believe it's 2.8 liters. I'll double check that in one of the next sections here. But it is pretty large, pretty big footprint here, as you can see, just in comparison of my hand. But overall, very happy with the materials and how they've held up and just everything that's going on in the exterior here. So I had the strap stowed inside, and I really like that as a feature while you're traveling. So while you're on your way there, you can use it as a sling if you want to, or if you just want to keep everything inside your backpack, you can stow away the strap so it's not getting in the way of stuff inside your pack. Put it inside of here or somewhere else in your backpack that you're bringing, and then get it out just when you need it. So the strap has no padding or aeration, which is nice for stowing it away, but it can dig in a little bit while you are wearing it, especially if you load this thing out with heavy tech. But we have little G hooks here that are kind of hard to, as I drop it there, a little bit hard to manipulate, but once you get used to it, it's, you can do it. It's really hard for me to do it on camera to show you. I'm not sure if you guys saw that very well there, but once you get used to it, it is kind of easy. You have these 4 points, as I mentioned earlier, to attach them to, so you can really wear it any way you want, crossbody on your shoulder. Just because of the 4 different mount points, you can go diagonally, just on the top, left side, so you can wear it on either shoulder and in any way that you want. So there is a lot of ways you can wear this. Also, if you want a more padded strap, because this is removable and because these are pretty standard hooks or little loops here to attach to, you could put a different strap here if you wanted to. If you want something with more padding, something that's a little bit more comfortable, you can do that. Or maybe you use this while you're traveling and you have something with a little bit more oomph that you can use while you're at home and have more space. As I mentioned earlier, there's really not a ton of padding here. The material has a bit of oomph because of just how thick it is. Again, that's, I wanted to say it's 840D or something like that. You heard it in the last section, but not a ton of padding here, so it can get a little bit bulky, but it just depends how you pack. So I am currently on the top 2 hooks here, and this is how I like to wear this thing when I was in sling mode, because I like just having access to everything, especially on my front here. I can get into both of these compartments, it's no problem. It's resting nicely on my front. But as I mentioned earlier, at 2.8 liters, this thing is a bit big. We have tested a ton of slings here, and typically ones that are 2.8 liters aren't this large, but this is kind of shaped this way so you can fit larger tech items and more tech items in here. So it does work well as a tech pouch, but as a 2.8 liter sling, it just is a bit big. And I really like when I'm wearing it like this, I can quickly, hopefully don't hit the mic there, switch it to my back, and then it's on my back and it's a little bit out of my way. So if I was like riding my bike or something like that, I can do this nicely. But again, just because I wear it like this doesn't mean you have to. You do have those 4 different points on the back to attach it to, so you can wear it, you know, corner to corner, which gives it more of like a more dynamic feel. I kind of like it on my back better like that, but there are a ton of options, as I said, and you can figure out which one works best for you. So depending on which exterior colorway and material you go with, you're gonna have a different lining material. And I'm just gonna check my notes to make sure that I get these right, because there are some numbers involved. So depending on which one you go with, there's either 200D ripstop nylon lining or X-Grid 210D ripstop nylon lining on the inside. Those are both good materials. One of them is going to be a brighter color, and this one is obviously the gray one. So it's both pretty easy to see your gear, unless your gear is that exact color, which would make it a little bit harder to see your gear. But the odds are that's probably not the case. But just one secondary compartment to work with here. I've got my phone stowed inside of there right now. Fits in there pretty snugly. I have a case on there. There is a little bit of wiggle room to go either side, and I also have quite a bit of gear in the main compartment, so it kind of shares space. So if you have a bunch of stuff in the main compartment, it's gonna be harder, a little bit tighter to slide your phone inside of there or whatever you're putting in there. Good spot, especially if you're using this in sling mode, to put your wallet, phone, keys, whatever you want to in here, because again, there's no organization in here, just a big open space with gray lining in this case. There is the only feature in here, let me see if I can find it and show it to you, is a pass through to the main compartment. So you can't see it super well, but there is a little slit in the fabric right there. You can kind of see it. So that there is a pass through to the main compartment. So the way that I use this was if I had something I needed to charge, but I also wanted access to, I would have my battery bank in the main compartment. I would feed a cable through to this front compartment here, and then you could charge it. So depending on the size of your phone, that may be kind of difficult. So as you can see, I'll just compare my phone on the outside here. There is a bit of room, so considering the pass-throughs right there, I can put my phone right here. It could come through and charge my phone. But like I said earlier, it does share space with the main compartment. So if you have a bunch of stuff in here, your phone is more limited to like where it can go. If you can make it work, but it's just kind of like pushing stuff around, and then you can kind of be harming your cable, because if my phone doesn't want to be right there, it's gonna like start to slide this way, and then it's gonna kind of bend that cable, and you don't want to be without a cable while you're traveling. So that's something to consider while you're using it. Just in general, you don't want to bend those cables if you can, but it's a nice feature. And if you're charging a smaller item like your AirPods or something like that, you're much smaller. It won't be as much of an issue to worry about that cable bending. But I like this pocket. I didn't use it a ton other than for, like I said, my phone, wallet, and stuff like that. But it is nice to have, especially if you're working like at a coffee shop or something like that. You can put your items you need quickly in here, maybe even like leave it open on the desk, because this does stand up like this, so long as you pack it correctly. And then you can get the stuff you need and then close it up, and then when you're ready to go, just get out of there. But nice addition if you ask me. So if you've been enjoying this video so far, make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video so we can continue making content like this to help you travel smarter. So jumping into the main compartment, that's where the real party is at. We have a ton of organization inside of here and also a ton of space. So before we dive too far in, while this is still packed out, I want to show you that. So I have a pair of Audio-Technica headphones here. They're not huge, but they're also not the most packable over-ear headphones that exist in the world. And I can fit these inside of here, but I just wanted to kind of show you what happens when I do. So I have those inside of there, and that's where I would normally keep them. As you saw, there wasn't anything inside that pocket. But when I do close this, it is a little bit like lumpy, and it just doesn't close super well. And again, a 2.8 liter sling, you wouldn't really think of putting huge headphones in there, but as you can see right now, it's just kind of a little bit lumpy, and that's not really the headphones' fault or the back's fault. It's just really a combination of everything I have in here. So maybe if I took the mouse out or something like that, it would change things. It's just a combination of all the things that are going on here. So I wanted to show you that depending on the items you have here, especially larger items, can kind of make things dip and bend where maybe you don't want them to. And also my phone's not in there right now, so that would even be pushing further out. My phone's in my pocket right now. So that's just something to think about, how you have things packed. I also have a pretty big battery bank in there. Just a lot of depth things kind of pushing to make that a little bit awkward. So I'm going to pull those out of there, and we'll start on the back side over here. So we have probably a tablet. It's most used for a tablet. You can fit, I believe it's an iPad mini 6 inside of there. So you can check the dimensions online of what your tablet is and see if that'll fit inside of there. Not a ton of padding on this side. It's enough, I think. And then you have quite a bit of, I'd say, just density, not really padding because of the material there. So I would probably use a case, but it is nice. It's a very soft material on the inside. You can not really worry about it messing up your screen or anything like that. I just have my battery bank stored in there because I don't really travel with a tablet. You can also put your phone in there if you want your phone to have a safer place than in the front compartment like I had it. So there's a little bit of space here. I would actually say I think these are probably kind of even. I don't know why this one feels larger to me, and maybe it is just a bit, but it just depends too, because this divider does shift like this, so, and the divider doesn't connect on the bottom, so if you have smaller items inside the main compartment here, they can kind of move around a little bit, so you're better off locking those down if you're able to. On this side here, we just have 2 of these stretchy pockets. I'm not using this one right here, but you can see how well that stretches and then kind of bounces back. Got my mouse in the other one, so this is still connected to my computer over there, so hopefully I'm not clicking on anything, but 2 pockets there. Easy to use, no topper though, so things could, if you use smaller things, could pop out if this gets turned upside down. On the other side, we have a zippered compartment here. I don't have anything stowed inside here right now, but when I was traveling with this thing, I actually put SD cards in there because there are these 3 little pockets that work really well. They're a little bit big for an SD card, but because if you have stuff stowed in the middle here, which I'm about to get to, it just adds enough depth to where it kind of holds onto it nicely. Even without stuff inside there, they're probably going to stay in there. But it's a nice place to stow smaller things. Then you have a little bit of space here as well. So this one's not mesh though, so it's not going to stretch or anything like that. But good spot for SD cards and other little tools and stuff like that. In the middle, we have this little magnet pocket, which I think is actually supposed to be for pens, but I don't really carry pens around. So I just have my corded headphones, which I like to bring in case of audio emergency. And then just 1/2 of my Joby because I left the other half on my tripod because I just forgot. So normally I have my whole Joby in there, but right now I just have half of it. On this side over here, we have 2 larger mesh pockets. And so on this side, I have my 2 battery GoPro charger, 2 different battery banks. I know I should just get one that has 2, but this is the system I'm working with right now. And then all my cables here on the other side. I got USB-C to USB-C, USB-C to Lightning, and USB-C to micro USB. So I've got everything covered here that I might need to charge. So USB-C obviously for these, and for my GoPro charger, Lightning for my phone, and then my headphones are still micro USB. So I'm still using micro USB in 2024. It is what it is. But as you can see now, there's nothing in here. If you were to close this up, nothing's really looking goofy or funky or anything like that. It just really depends how you pack this thing out and how you're going to use it. If you're going to use it as a tech pouch, I don't know if that matters, that sometimes it gets a little like iffy when you put larger items in here. And that's how I used it. I put my headphones in here pretty much every single day, and none of my stuff broke, so these materials are doing a pretty good job. But overall, it just depends how you use your gear and what you're bringing and how you're going to use this. As a just traditional sling, I don't know that this works super well, but if you're bringing a bunch of tech and you want to kind of use it as a combo to save space and weight, this is the pretty good option if you ask me. So there you have it, the ALPAKA Elements Tech Case Max. Thanks for keeping it here at Pack Hacker, your guide to smarter travel. We'll see you in the next one.